welcome back to the Love Inspired Leadership Podcast. I am so happy that you're here and grateful. And I was just having a conversation with our incredible guest that we have on today in regards to my intention of presenting these incredible conversations that I have the honor to go through with these incredible love-inspired leaders that are across the globe. And my intention is to bring you the truth and bring you the information that will support you to be a love-inspired leader within your own life, within your own business. So I just thank you for making the decision to be here. And this conversation today really is going to spark and ignite authentic transformation and joyful impact through this meaningful conversation today. So I'm excited to introduce you to Noemi Beres, and she's the co-founder of Podcast Connections, and she is a true passionate content creator, also an artist and a coach. She helps entrepreneurs grow through powerful podcast interviews, but she also uniquely helps leaders find clarity and connection through her silent thinking sessions. Oops, that just sounds so good to me. Naomi, honestly. So Naomi, your story is so incredibly powerful of losing and rebuilding your business. And it's really taught you that real leadership isn't about perfection. It's about resilience and honesty. So we're going to take a deep dive into how leading yourself with compassion first allows you to lead others with genuine connection, clarity, and power, and a powerful goal-giver mindset. I love it. So let's start, Naomi, and let's start with, this moment in time, this powerful hard right turn that I call it, that turning point. You mentioned, losing your business during the pandemic. Let's start there.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you so much, Carolyn, for having this interview with me. It's an honor to be here. I'm just really, happy about that. Yes. Losing that business was really hard. And exactly the same year, the year before in 2019, I lost my father to cancer, and I lost my grandmother to an accident. So losing my closest family members, then losing the business, it was hard. It was tough. And I know it happened in a lot of families because the pandemic, took many lives, and it was a horrible experience for many, losing businesses. I wasn't alone in this, and then I know that. But obviously everybody was affected by it. And it took some resilience and courage to start something new and start something that I had no idea about it, and jump into another business to basically pay your bills and to provide for your family, to provide for your son, because it had to be done. And I was in the travel industry business for many years, from 2007 up to 2020. But then, because the travel industry collapsed from one day to another, from one moment to another, I had to pivot. And the pivot was starting our, podcast booking agency. And thankfully, it went well. And this is our 5th year. We are celebrating with maybe amazing clients from all across the globe. Not all across the globe, but mostly from the US and Canada. But I'm just happy, actually, this change happened in my life. So there's always something good in every bad, as they say. And that's what happened. And I think our resilience and just keep going mentality really helps to thrive, whatever life throws at you.
Exactly. And so what I'm curious about, because I've taken that hard right a number of times within my life, from external impact, which is what you're talking about, that it is out of our control.
Yes.
It truly is. And there's a moment in time where you say, okay, I need to accept this. I am not going to be a victim here. I am not going to what I call think below the line in doubt, fear, regret, resentment, anger, blame. So how did you create that internal resilience within yourself when you took that hard right? Because I really, truly think it's a moment in time that we make a decision within ourselves. So that's what I'm totally curious about, how that supported you in that moment in time. What is it that you did for yourself?
Yeah, for me, I'm an artist. I'm a mixed media collage artist. So art really helped me to heal. And I realized is if I go back to art will help me to heal. I didn't do any art therapy courses before. I did it after or during the pandemic. No, after the pandemic. But I realized like this is what helped me get through all of the trouble, all of the anxiety and tragedy that I went through and grief. And like I had this ritual like every evening, Carolyn. So I went to bed during the pandemic and, grieving and everything going on in the world. I shut the world outside, and then I stopped watching TV. And what I did, I was listening to audiobooks, I was listening to podcasts, and I was just putting together these collages, working on my collages. And I knew this was a meditative state for me. It really helped me to slow down, to breathe, to enjoy the moment, and to create something meaningful. And even if I didn't show it to anybody back then yet, you can see, if you're watching it, you can see it on the wall behind me. But I just started to work on these collages, and they helped me to heal. And when I realized that, like, okay, if they can help me to heal, I can get on this podcast. I did a course on art therapy, so I can help people to do the same at home and be creative. And you can cook, you can dance, you can drum, you can make art, and it can help you to heal if you have, anxiety, trauma, PTSD, whatever. And that was a huge support for me. And because I was this kind of resilient type woman in my entire life since childhood, since I was a kid. And I think living in different countries and moving from Eastern Central Europe to a Western country, to Ireland when I was in my early 20s with one suitcase or two suitcases and like €1,000, that was nothing. And yeah, you will become resilient, and you become careful with your money, and you work for it. You don't look back. I never look back leaving my home country and making a life and living in a foreign country. And I did it a few times, like in Ireland, in Cyprus. So I think that helped me to get through those times, what happened during the pandemic.
Well, I agree 1,000%. And, I love the fact that you turn to creativity to navigate through the pain, the emotions, the grief, because there's a process that I think individually we need to find. And mine was through creativity, and numbers of times that I had family members pass as well, and health issues with family members. And I turned to creativity as well. I taught myself how to chalk paint furniture. I taught myself how to, custom cover chairs and different aspects. So I got into learning. And I think it's that decision that I'm not going to let this take away from my life. I'm going to allow myself to feel my way through it to heal myself. So I just find that incredibly courageous and a really clear decision. And I love the fact that you reflected on the other courageous activities you took in your life prior to that, which is moving to another country. And I think that we have a lot more strength of character and resilience within ourselves as a love-inspired leader than we realize. So that's what I want to bring across to our audience right now, is that you got this. And if you are struggling with something, open your mind to the curiosity of creativity. What could it be? Maybe it's salsa dancing. Maybe it's learning about flowers. maybe it's, what you did, having this creative expression. And what I love that you did is you created it into a daily discipline. So rather than get lost in the vortex of TV, that's what I call it. It kind of sucks in there. And then, I'm on Netflix. Okay, just one more episode, right? Well, is that contributing to my life? No, absolutely not. So
it's nice to watch you do sometimes. I do it too. So.
It's fine. But it's just that you made that decision that you're going to add to your life. And, that's what my mentor who gave me this key, Emma, always talked about, is make those decisions that add to, that rather than take away from. And that's a very simple statement, but it is profound. It's a matter of, just making that clear and final decision that you're going to live a life of purpose, meaning, love, contribution. And that's how you live, Naomi. That's why I'm so excited. Interview. Okay. So let's move on to the next. So you realized, it's so true. You realized that leadership truly isn't about being perfect or perfection. It's about being honest and truthful with yourself. So how did leading yourself with compassion first allow you to lead your team and your clients more authentically than ever before? I absolutely love the power of compassion. So I'm super curious about what your answer is going to be to this question.
You know what? Being leading with compassion, and where I learned that, and that was the Go-Giver community. I have to jump there because that's what they do, and that's how they operate. And when I joined the community 4 years ago, I wasn't in that space, and all the things that we share together and belonging to this amazing tribe, I found my tribe and finding this community and learning so much about compassion from people that I really respect. It was amazing. And it kind of changed my life. And it changed how I treat the people around me that I work with, friends, community, because I had a very kind of negative view of the world for many, many years. And I think that came from kind of, I wouldn't say childhood trauma, because I had a good life with my parents and everything, but growing up in a Central Eastern European country, it's there. It's like kind of generational trauma. And I talk with friends about it, and that's happening there, for hundreds of years. And that I brought that with me. And over the years, I couldn't really focus on anything else, just, grinding and doing my job. And I didn't really feel that my heart was there, because I was let's move on. Let's finish the list. But when I joined the Go-Giver community, I learned so much about being a compassionate leader, and that changed my life completely. And being a heart-centered leader, it's an amazing thing to learn.
If there was one single thing that you could share with our audience that has been the biggest game changer for you within your life, what would that one thing be?
Never raising the white flag. I talked about this with a podcast host, and no, I never look back on things that I made, decisions I made, or places where I moved, and being persistent, being consistent with things, and never giving up. Whatever happened in my life, it's just who I am. And because sometimes when you have all this grief happening in your family, it's like sometimes you just feel like, I can't do this anymore. This is too much for me. But I just push through, which is not always a good thing to do, because then I realized, okay, this is maybe not the way to go, but I had the strength to do that. And I had certain areas of my life, like exercising or walking. I love walking, and doing art or swimming in the sea or whatever, brought me joy. And finding those tiny joys in joyful moments in your life that really helps you to keep going. And that helped me not to raise the white flag. and being grateful and thankful for whatever happens in life, because that's key. I mean, I listened to one of your previous podcast interviews, and I can't remember the lady's name who was a guest and was talking about gratitude. And I'm really big on gratitude for many, many years. And it changed. It's a game changer, and it changes your life from here to up there. So.
I mean, everything that we've talked about, even until this moment, I want the audience to realize that you can transform your resilience within yourself. And I just want to let you know you can give yourself permission, and all these elements contribute to that, and you finding your navigation through where you are right now as a love-inspired leader. And gratitude is the game changer. So I have a decision every moment what I choose to think. And one thought can change everything. And I can choose to be grateful and then reflect on what that is and feel it. Or I can focus on what I call thinking below the line, which is doubt, fear.
Yeah.
So choose gratitude. Choose nature's nourishment, which is what you call you mentioned. And it's true.
Yeah.
Going out in nature, looking at trees, looking at flowers, smiling at people. I walk by, I jog, jaunt, I call it. It's not a walk and it's not a jog, it's a jaunt. I go by this Asian woman that's 4'0". She wears a mauve, beautiful wool coat and a tam, and she is walking. She's about in her 80s, and every day I see her, it puts a huge smile on my face. And now we're at a part of our relationship. We say good morning. I say, have a wonderful day. Now we're at the high five stage. So she's walking towards me every day that I get to high five that woman. I feel fabulous.
That's beautiful.
It's the little things that make the big difference. And be curious about compassion. Be curious about being self-compassionate and compassionate with other people. This one core value can transform your entire life. It can. And I have a group that I'm running it's called the Compassion Circle, which the conversations we have with women in there are off the charts, wise and wonderful. And so thank you for that.
And just something came to my mind, what you said. It's like so important to make other people to feel good about themselves. And that's the key. I mean, if we would do that like more often, the world would be a better place for sure. And I wanted to share just one tiny thing before we move on to something else. I have a practice, like a routine every evening. I have a stone that I got from my dad, from my late dad, and I call it a gratitude stone. So every evening before I go to sleep, I hold this stone in my hand and I think about just one thing that I'm grateful for that day. And then, I go to sleep with smiling because that was something that brought me joy. So that's how I end my day, with gratitude.
I just got truth bumps. I don't call them goosebumps all over that one. So imagine us going to sleep every night. I mean, this is a simple next step for the audience to do. So thank you for that. And, there's this level of commitment to design and create our life. And I really want my audience to realize things are potential. Things can always get better. And we have the capability for change and transformation. I just journaled about this morning in my book. And we have this incredible opportunity to fine-tune what is, to add to it. So I love that. I'm going to do that from now on. Naomi, thank you for that gift. I'm doing it.
It's my pleasure.
I love it. Okay, so this concept of courage, often looking like beginning again, is super powerful. So what inner work or mindset shift was required when you started rebuilding from scratch again?
Yes, that's a great question and a complex one. Yeah, you really have to work on yourself. And self-love is crucial because if you don't have self-love, how would other people respect and love you if you don't love yourself? You have to respect yourself so much and basically to be in love with yourself, because the world is a better place when you do that and you smile nicer, you are more kind-hearted to other people because you love yourself. If you don't, and I think I had to build that up. And I'm really thankful to my mom because, growing up as a teenager in Hungary, in this small town, I was always shy, very timid girl. And not those girls that, went out partying and drinking or whatever. And so I really had very kind of low self-esteem. And thanks to the strong woman who raised me and just kept telling me, it's like, it's like, come on, you can do this. You're better than this. And she was always, and my dad too, always really supportive with me and then listened to them. I didn't believe them first, but then as I became a woman, I became an entrepreneur. I knew that without self-love, without self-esteem, I won't reach my goals. And that's crucial. That's the base that you have to do. Every single day, do a self-love practice. And it may sound funny, but I do a self-love routine as well. I discovered that not so long ago, and you just go into you go into the bathroom or whatever, you got a mirror in your house, and you just tell it's okay, Noemi, or Carolyn, I love you. That's it. And you mean it, the feelings are there, the energy, the high vibe, positive energy is there. And you do that maybe 3 times a day, in the morning, lunchtime and dinner time. And you do that every single day. And it's going to be easier by every day.
Well, and this whole podcast is about love.
Exactly.
I honestly, Naomi, I feel like my whole entire life has been looking for love, is discovering where love is. And I always looked outside of myself.
Yeah,
because I didn't grow up the same way you did. So I've always been looking. So is it outside of myself? Is it in the accomplishments, in the business and making money? Nope. That's not the reason. Okay, so how about getting it from other relationships, from other people? Well, nope. That's not it. So I feel like I've been on this lifetime experiment to realize what love is, what love does, and what love represents within myself. So, I haven't said this in my podcast before, but I am in the process of loving my life. I am in the process of realizing that I am the love that I have been waiting for. And it's a glorious journey of curiosity, wonder, and experimentation to create those self-love practices to honor myself. And it's, wow. So I have so much more love to bring to this podcast, to my clients, to the communities that I serve, and so much more presence and kindness that we talked about in the beginning. Now, our conversation, and that I truly know that each of us, this is our own responsibility. It's within ourselves to level up the commitment to see that, to feel it, to trust it, to believe it. So I just love this conversation. Good. Okay. So let's explore next how to translate this heart-centered approach into working with our clients, right? So you talked about serving clients the go-giver way. So,
yes,
for leaders listening right now, I just want to support them to understand what that looks like in a practical business setting, like your podcast agency, booking agency. And how does that approach elevate the client's experience and their lives?
That's a brilliant question. And it's an important one as well, because, when we have clients, we just literally focus on numbers, but we really have to focus on the people. If you don't focus on the people, they won't stay with you. To keep your clients, to keep your customers, I think is the only way to do it on a long-term basis. It just listen to people. When they tell you something, just be present. When you have a meeting with your client, be present and listen. Ask the questions. And I think that's kind of the go-giver way, always add value to other people's lives. Listen to them, because it's really interesting. When I have the first conversation with them, I always just I keep quiet. I take notes, and I just keep them talking and talking, because that's how you get to know someone. If you don't know someone, and you can't even start a business relationship with them. And it's about the small, heart-centered, loving things. For example, one of my clients had just lost her, beloved dog. And then, so I reached out to her and I sent my condolences. These tiny things, or someone ending up in hospital, or something happened in their lives. Just look after them. Take care of your clients, and from your heart, not just whatever number they, keep paying me my bills and that's fine. That's not how you keep customers. You have a relationship with them, and it's an amazing feeling, because it's not like every day I wake up is oh yes, I can serve them, I can help them from my higher self. And I think that's so powerful. And I serve them with love and care. And I want to treat them the way I want them to treat me. And that's how it works. It's so easy. It's basic. It's nothing complicated about it. Just respect each other and adding value to each other's lives.
Absolutely. And it's like a circle, isn't it? It's
yes.
Like what I contribute is also what I receive. And yes. Every day I have this statement that I say to myself. It's whatever I give, I have the incredible honor to receive. So that's a profound statement. And that is a go-giver way statement. And I just think that it is intentional. It's an internal decision to function this way, rather than simply getting and taking. It's serving first and being in that position of being a servant to your clients, to your strategic alliances, and that's how you build the relationship of trust too, don't you think? I mean,
yes, absolutely.
It builds this foundation of strength and trust. So when they have someone within their circle of influence say that they need a podcast support agency because they're thinking of creating, they're going to think of you, and they are going to recommend you because of that human being connection. So it's very simple, like you said. It's intentional. So
and absolutely. Yeah. And this is what AI can't replace. This is the human touch, and that's it. And because I was told, it's you can lose your job because this can be done by AI. And I, nothing wrong with AI. I love everything about it because it helps my work, but it will never replace the human connection, ever, never.
Because it's personal, because it's intimate. And the piece that I want the audience to take away here is open your mind up, open your heart up, and be curious on how you can contribute to not only your clients, but those relationships that you have strategically within the communities, the networks that you're connected with, and go beyond the norm to be kind, to be thoughtful, to care, because that's what has the impact. I just talked to one woman yesterday that was in our network that her dog is passing, and I just had a really heart-to-heart centered conversation about how I navigated through the passing of our dog, Tucker. Mm-hmm. And I just shared with her what got me through, and it was love. So it's those kinds of things. It's taking that intentional action too. It's like you said, sending that note, sending that gift, setting up that Zoom chat for 10 or 15 minutes. Is there anything that I can support you with as you navigate through this challenging time?
Exactly.
I'm here for you.
It's so, so important. And what you just mentioned, like sending notes and thank you cards. For example, I recently started to send handmade collages, like cut and paste paper collages, to my podcast host friends that I've been working with for a longer time. And I'm just sending with a note and just a small artwork, and I'm sending them to the US by hand. Everything is written by hand, and I just send them because it's just the touch of kindness. It's like, why not? I mean, it's not a big thing to do.
It isn't. It needs to be intentional, though, because what happens in life that I observe in my consulting, training, speaking practice is people are so busy with being busy. And they're not taking that time to slow down enough to become intentional as a go-giver steward. So it takes that commitment to be open-minded. Now, what belief system do you find most often holds entrepreneurs back from leading themselves with value, generosity, and genuine connection, do you think?
I think everything goes back to the lack of self-esteem. Because if you don't appreciate yourself, how would you appreciate other people? How would they appreciate you? Everything goes back to self-love. It really stops people becoming successful and not believing in themselves, even when there's nothing is, decided yet or at the beginning of your journey as an entrepreneur, and people just give up. Because they think entrepreneurship, it's about 4-hour work week or something like. It's not. It's hard work. It takes time and long hours in front of the computer. And it's not everything, rainbows and unicorns. It's tough. It's a tough job to be an entrepreneur. But if you are resilient, if you are consistent, if you are persistent, you will reach your goals. And I truly believe in that. But most of the people want quick solutions from one day to another. But there's no quick solutions. Like if you go to the gym, you won't become Schwarzenegger in like 2 weeks. I mean, you need to build those muscles. You need to build those entrepreneurial muscles. And that takes time and patience. And we all need that. But today's world is so fast because we think like we can get rich so fast and successful in 2 minutes, but it's not happening. It takes time, and it's never late to start. You can be your 40s, 50s, whatever, 60s. It's never late to start a business.
No, and it's the greatest gift that you could give the world personally. And what I would add to that is that we're never meant to do this alone, ever.
Yeah.
We're meant to come together, and that's a part of a commitment to reach out and ask for support when you need it. So you don't make that decision to think below the line and, like you mentioned, give up. Because there is someone within your network right now. So if you have an issue in your business, there's someone that that has an answer to that.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of being bold and courageous to ask for the support when you need it. So to reach out to someone within your network. It's fantastic. So I love the go-giver philosophy, and truly it embodies the foundation of what I believe love-inspired leadership is. And when we prioritize the value of that, and also that intentional action to connect with ourselves in that position as well as other people, that's when abundance truly flows. That's when it's natural, it's organic, and I find within myself that I receive gifts. So for instance, you have sent 2 incredible people that I have honor and opportunity to interview on my podcast that have had the most incredible life-changing experiences, and I'm really excited. And that happened organically. And I think it's because of the connection we have, the trust we have, the alignment that we have in the way that we live and how we appreciate each other's position to serve. Would you say that's the truth too?
Absolutely, 100%. And just being grateful for each other that we are here and we can serve each other. And it makes a huge difference in our lives and in our business. And what you just said is like abundance flows into our life. Yeah, that's what happens. Like whatever kindness you give into the world, you will get back in tenfold. Always, always. This is how life and world works.
Yes, that's what my 93-year-old Auntie Marge used to say. Carolyn, whatever you give, you get to reap the tenfold harvest. And I'm like, okay, all righty. I'm going to go after that. So let's look at this next piece. This is the part I'm really excited about. Let's look at the power of silence. Oof, this is yummy, delicious, meaningful. And I just want to start this premise before I invite you to share is that Emma, my spiritual mentor that gave me this beautiful key that represents everything that I stand for, one of the core principles that she talked with me about when I was 18 years old is taking time for silence, taking time, just stepping away from the busyness of life and to reflect on that space for grace in order to hear that internal voice of wisdom's truth. And the truth that comes is gentle, it's loving, it's soft, and it's, if I'm busy, I miss it. I don't get to hear it. And that's what she recommended, that is the guide and the decision place of leading my life as a love-inspired leader. So this is huge for me. So I'm so excited. So you created the silent thinking session to combat this fast-paced world. So why is silence and time to think so important in life and business as a leader?
I figured this out because I never had time to think before in silence. And I went to the US in May, first time ever in my life. And I went on this hiking trip in North Carolina. And I was in those forests and just hiking and walking with other people. And it was an amazing experience. But we didn't talk much. There was kind of silence around us. And I realized and noticed that, okay, this is what I was missing from my life all these years, because all the grinding, all the work, all the grief, all the things happening, setting up a new business, I was always just pushing through, and there was never silence. I could never focus on my thoughts in silence. Yes. And then I got back from the US, and when I came back, I sat down, okay, I need to help other people to experience this, what I experienced back in the US in those, North Carolina forests, woods. And it was amazing because I realized this is what the world needs now more than ever, because there's so much noise. There's so much distraction all the time, phones beeping, computers beeping, the TV is on, and you never schedule a silent thinking session for yourself because, why would you do that? You're just rushing through your life, rushing through your days. And we just need that. We need a space, a gentle, non-judgmental place that you reconnect with your thoughts. And that's so, so important. And I also emphasize in my program that there are different mental health issues like PTSD, anxiety, grief, like anything that comes up in our life. It's always treated by talk therapy. But talk therapy doesn't always work. If you have to just repeat always your trauma to different coaches or different therapists, I'm not saying it's obviously that it helps, but for certain people, it's like bringing up all the time those traumatic experiences won't. So just being in a presence of a person who has high vibe energy, positive energy surrounds you in silence, and you can think basically. That's kind of a game changer in our lives.
It's a big time game changer, and it's all about energy.
Yes,
truthfully. And yeah, the way I look at it, we have this extraordinary opportunity to level up our, as people say, our vibrancy So we can function from a lower level of energy that's heavy, that's constricted, that's hard, that's emotionally exhausting and draining. I call that thinking below the line. Or we can rise up and aim higher. And the truth is, to be around other people and their energy, it's actually contagious. Either position, the way I look at it. So, I mean, around this too, I've made a commitment to clean up the relationships within my life. I have chosen people that add to my life rather than take away. And my vibrancy for life, my energy, and my ability to function from that higher vibration is so easy and so simple now, because who we are around affects our own energy and affects that too. So I just think that there's a level of commitment and responsibility and accountability for us within ourselves in the daily practices on what we're willing to commit to shift, take those hard rights like you have, like I have, and transform this position in life to have more room for love, to function from this place of gratitude, because that's love too. So, and it's possible. I just want to let people know, I've done it, you've done it, the people that I hang out with are constantly doing it. I'm still in the process of evolving what love-inspired leadership is. And I know the honor of creating that quiet space within, and to have that on your to-do list. It has to be a daily practice.
Yeah.
Because what you'll find out about yourself, you will just be amazed. You know, at first there's some information that is coming in there that's below the line thinking. And when you get through that, I mean, I'm sure that's what happens with your groups too.
Yeah.
There is this foundation of reconnection with truth and intuition. And so share with us how that changes my ability to make better decisions for my life and lead with more clarity and presence. How does that happen with you and your group?
It's all about slowing down. It's all about slowing down and just really realizing what's going on inside you. So what I do during a silent thinking session is I ask people to bring a journal, bring a piece of paper, and write down whatever you're thinking. And you can, at the end of the session, you can share it with me, but it's not necessary to do that. But it's really important to go through those thoughts and being intentional with one or two thoughts that you come with, and you go through those and not rush things, because it's such a fast-paced world we're living in, and it's everything happens so fast. And I'm, especially for kids, it's horrible what's going on with them. So just slowing down and be patient with yourself, be present while you are with your thoughts. I think it's really, really important. And just enjoy the process, because there's so much joy in it once you start doing it. And what you said, it's a practice. I can teach you how to do it, but you have to practice it daily. And then it becomes part of your life.
Well, it does. And it's the consistency. This is what I've been discovering. I've become more greedy with feeling great. I'll be honest. As I get older, I have my rituals every day. People who know me well, it's like, no, we can't connect and talk during this period of time because I'm doing this, and this, and I'm free after that. And so, but it's a matter of making the decision, and it's small things that make the big difference. It's daily discipline to change your life. And it sounds simple. It sounds simple, and it is. The commitment is for you to take that commitment for you. And I feel like I'm learning in the last 5 to 7 years how to honor myself and how to be able to be in this position to make those clear and final decisions that are in alignment with what matters most to me in my life and my business. And I can hear that internal voice because of the silent time and the journaling within myself. I can hear it much quicker. I know a clear yes. And if it's a maybe, it's a no for now. And I can give myself that permission and be confident in that decision. So much easier. I mean, do you find the same thing with yourself?
Absolutely. It changes your life. It really changes your life because you're not so worried about certain things. Like I was the type of person before that I was always worried about something, like so nervous. And now I just take everything. It's just so much easier. Everything is so much calmer. And even when, other people that surround you, they always talk about politics or this or that or wars and this happening, that happening. I kind of feel like I'm in a bubble that it protects me from this outside. It's not like I'm living in a dream world or anything like that. I know what's happening in the world around me, but it's how you react to those things. Like we don't have to react to everything. And this is a power that we can learn. And it's about continuous learning, like how to organize your life around the craziness of the world, because you can do that. It was so funny because one of our neighbors, he can be really nervous and excited about things and about raising a child and this happening and that happening. And when he looks at me, he always asks me, it's like, Noemi, how can be so calm? I mean, it's my choice. It's your choice too. It's our own choice how to react to things. And I also learned that from the Go-Givers in a big time. So it's like we need to learn that. It's not easy. It's an ongoing process for me too. But just being calmer, wiser, and listening to ourselves and just listen to other people, it changed my life.
And it's this self-awareness piece that is critically important. And we get to make the decisions that are for us. And I believe that every single thing in my life, this is my belief system, and it serves me so well. Every single thing that happens in my life is for me to guide me and direct me. So regardless of what happens outside of myself, I get to be in calibration and alignment with being self-resilient. So what happens over time is you build this confidence within yourself that you can trust everything that happens. And that's where the calm confidence is present as a love-inspired leader. And it happens over time. Things don't happen immediately. You said that earlier, and that was so good. And it's a gradual journey. And it's very, very profound. And I want people to understand that as a leader, you can be emotionally resilient and express yourself with that professional identity. Okay, so let's just recap here is, the space you create for others to pause and reflect is a tremendous act of love, Noemi. And your work shows us that true impact requires being fully present in the moment. And I just want to commend you for your dedication and commitment to be in this continual evolution and progression to serve the world from your highest self. I mean, it's so inspiring to me. And this interview has been, a really profound learning for me and our audience. So I just really want to let you know that I appreciate you and your commitment to continue down this path of being a love-inspired leader in the unique way that you have chosen within your life and your business. So I know you're committed to this every single day. So am I. So I just want to thank you for your wisdom, for your truth, for your inspiration. And this conversation I really know will have made an impact on our audience in inspiring them to be a love-inspired leader by being resilient and functioning from their heart. So I want to offer our audience the gift that you have chosen to contribute. Would you share what that is with the audience?
Yes, absolutely. So please connect with me on our website, and that's Podcast Connections. That's a different one. That too, you can connect there too. But it's noemiberes.com. That's my name. Or on LinkedIn, you can find me there too. And if you tell me that, you listen to our interview with Carolyn, I'm so happy to do a complimentary 15-minute complimentary silent thinking session for you. So I would love that.
I love it. And I want to let the audience know that you don't have to do this alone. So whatever you're struggling with, what Noemi has offered is a profound gift. Take advantage of it and discover some new elements and ways that you can become more resilient within yourself. And I would like to let the audience once again know that you can lead with love. And my gift to you to create more clarity, purpose, and energy is to receive my 21-day Sacred Insight journey. It's a 21-day in your mailbox contribution of a 2 to 3 minute recording, some reflections and journal prompts that you can participate in this evolution of learning to love your life, love your business, and love this opportunity to serve. So my last question is this: what is one thing you can pause and create silence for today to reconnect to that internal voice of wisdom and your intuition? So take the time today, even take 10 minutes specifically to pause and reflect and listen. So thank you, Noemi, and thank you to the audience who has been here. And I know that we're going to come back together again on this podcast in the future.
Yeah, I'm sure. Thank you so much for your kind words, and I really enjoyed that conversation. It was beautiful.
Awesome. Thank you. And we will see you next time on the Love Inspired Leadership Podcast. Take good care. Thank you for joining me on the Love Inspired Leadership Podcast. If today's episode stirred something in your soul, share it with someone who's ready to aim higher. Keep holding your vision, anchor in your truth, and take intentional, inspired action, because love is all there is.
Hey, I'm Michelle Abraham, founder of the High Vibe Podcast Network, and we are honored to have Carolyn Cooper's Love Inspired Leadership show as part of our network family. For more inspiring shows like this one, visit highvibepodcastnetwork.com, and don't forget to grab your free gifts from our hosts in the gift folds. Till then, stay high vibe and keep sharing your life.